Hello everyone, this is Ashish Saini from Innovate Yourself. Welcome back to my channel. Once again, I am back with another video on the Python Kivy. Like in the previous video, I have already shown you that how you can create your first application through Python Kivy. I also have shown you like how you can call the run method and how it was actually working, whether in the front end or in the back end part. So I have shown you both of that. Now let's move ahead and let's understand the next thing. Alright, so now let's understand about the widgets that we have created in the previous session. Last time we didn't create much widgets, but yeah, the first widget, which was the label widget, we have created that and we have seen that in action, right? So that is what we were looking into it, right? And now let's understand what exactly the widgets are and like why do we need them in Python, and also let's say in the application whichever you are creating, right? So widgets are the building blocks of Kivy GUI experience. The responsibility of the widget is to take the event as an input and provide an appropriate response to it. So what does that mean? It means like you have some different widgets, and that different widgets can be anything. Let's say label, text box, your button, your scroll bar, or anything. So there are different kind of widgets which are like the options, where you don't have to type anything or you don't have to send a specific command by typing or doing anything. Instead, you just have to use that widget and you have to provide the command to perform an action, and with respect to that your task will be done. So this is how your widgets are being used, and this is all about the widgets. And also, other than the widgets, like how exactly the widgets are getting worked. So before the widgets is going to get worked, there is a specific way like how does it work. Like you can see there is one image over here on the bottom left side, right? So you can see firstly the event will be triggered, and based on that event your widget is going to give you a response, right? So this is what exactly it is happening, and now let's understand that in details. So for that you can see like for example, events are like pressing a button, hovering a mouse over a button, or doing anything, or entering any text to the text box, or whatever it is. So this is like these are the events that you are performing, and based on that you are going to get some output. So that is what, that is a first kind of a event. Similarly, you are having two types of a widgets. You are having two different types of an events in widgets, which are, the first one is the property event and the second one is widget defined event. Property events and widget defined events are the two different things. Widget defined property events are like changing the size of a button, changing the shape of a button, changing the position of a button, or any other widgets. So these are like the property widgets with respect to which you are just changing the arrangement, changing the orientation of your widget. So this is what, this is a kind of a property event. Similarly, widget defined events are the specific tasks that are like pressing a button and you will get your task done, typing a text into the text box, and based on that you will get some output on your output screen. So these are what, these are a kind of a specific set of tasks that will be performed based on the changes that you will take on your widgets. So that means based on the widgets you are going to create an event, and based on that event you are going to get an output. So what is that? That is another kind of an event, that is widget defined event. So these are two different types of events which are present in Python Kivy with respect to the widgets, and based on that you're going to get the response. So before understanding about the rest of the widgets, now let's understand what the layouts are. So layouts are like a containers. These are used to organize and arrange widgets according to our needs. There are different types of layouts in Kivy, which are the anchor layout, float layout, grid layout, page layout. So there are four different types of layout which we are generally using to define that where you are going to place your widgets, because these four layouts have their specific set of order, like how you can place the widgets, how you can position your widgets in a specific layout. And specific layout is just like a window on which you are just placing your widgets. So this is all about the layouts. So firstly, let's move to the next slide and let's understand what exactly the anchor layouts are, and also we will understand that by adding a few more widgets to the layout. So let's understand that. So firstly, what is anchor layout? anchor layout is like a simple layout like we discussed before, and on the right side you can see there is an image. In this, what exactly we can do is place the widgets whether on the center or on the four different corners of your layout. So this is how you can place your widgets and you can further use it. And we can position the widgets with respect to the anchor underscore x and anchor underscore y. So these are the two different arguments which can be used to reposition the widgets in the anchor layout. Now let's understand this anchor layout by doing the coding stuff on that, right? So let's go to the PyCharm and let's start writing a code with respect to the anchor layout and to add the multiple widgets to it. So let's see that. Alright, so you can see this is a program which we have created in the previous session, and there when we were running that, and you must have seen that it was giving you an output window, and on that output window you were getting a very simple message which was like, welcome to innovate yourself, and that was also printed with respect to a widget, and that widget name is label. So we were using the label widget and we were displaying a message. Similarly, now if we have to do adding more widgets to it, or let's say we have to add multiple widgets onto the same layout, like at that time how are we going to do that? Because in the previous step you must have seen that we were using a simple return statement, and with respect to that we are just passing this label. But that is the step if in case you want to add only single widget. At that time you can do this step, but if in case you want to add multiple widgets onto the same layout, there you require to choose like what layout you want to use. So for the first case we want to use the anchor layout. So let me just create a new file, or let's say a new script, and on there I will show you like how you can use the anchor layout. So let me create a new script. So anchor layout, right? So now let's create the very basic thing. Let's create a basic class, and on that class I will simply type like demo app, and within bracket the same thing, just inherit it with the app class, right? And after that, inside this you have to create another method, and that method is the build method, as I have already told you before, right? Like this. And now, as I already said, then you can directly add this thing by using the cursor, right? So as you can see, I have added that. And after that, what exactly you have to do next is that you have to start initializing. You have to initialize your layout, and that layout will be an anchor layout. So based on that, I'm going to create an object for that, right? So for that, just simply say, let's say I'm creating an object layout, and that will be created like this, anchor layout. And the same thing we have to do, we have to just add it like this. So you will get it from kivy.uix.anchor layout import anchor layout. So this is where we are getting our anchor layout, and on this anchor layout we are going to place our different widgets, right? So right now let me show you what widget I'm going to use. So firstly type it like this, and just after that, let's say I want to add button, right? I want to add button. So for that, button equal to button, and from where I will get the button, do the same thing over here, import this, and from Kivy we have to import. So we'll get it from kivy.uix.button import button. So this is how we are importing it. And after that, next thing is like what text you want to display on that. So let's say I want to display let's say hello everyone, right? Hello everyone. So this is a simple message which I want to display onto my button. So this is how I can do it, right? Press enter, and let me just set some other arguments as well, other properties of your button as well, right? And that properties can be like size hint, through which I will define like what will be the size of my button, and the size of button will be placed like 0.2 comma 0.2. It's like I'm telling the ratio, I'm telling like what will be the percentage of your button size, right? So this is how I'm doing it. So 0.2 means like 20% of the size, right? So this is what I'm doing. Similarly, after that, after setting up the size of your button, you have to set, let's say, the background color, and that is actually not necessary, but if you want to add, then you can add it. So let me show you how you can add the background color, right? And in here you have to specify the values for RGB, which is red, green, blue. So just mention any random value, whatever you want to add. Let's say 0.5, 25.8, comma, and let's say 2. So it can be any color, right? So this is how I'm doing it. Similarly, I can set another color as well, and that other color will be again 0,0,0, 1. 1 is for the transparency, and rest of the other values are for the RGB. So this is how I'm just setting up the color for it, right? So I'm done with it. And after that, the next thing is that you have to add this widget inside the layout. Just because right now whatever I have done is I am simply creating a button, but I have to add multiple widgets onto the same layout. So that means I have to use the layout which I have created in the previous step, which is layout. So just copy this, layout dot add underscore widget, and inside this you have to specify the widget that you want to add to it. You want to add button onto this layout. So this is how you can add this, right? And after that, finally, when you are done with this step, the last step is to return layout, right? Return layout. So that means with respect to this, you are calling a layout, you are returning a layout, and that layout will display all the widgets which you have added onto this layout, right? So this is how we can do it. And after that, let me just call this, and you know that how you can call it. You can directly call it like this, right? Or you can do it another way also, like creating the object first and then calling it. So I'm doing it directly this time, right? So let me just run it now. So you can see by default it is creating a button for you, and it is placing at the center of your widget, or let's say at the center of your layout, right? So now let's do one thing. Let's change the position of this layout, right? And accordingly, let me just change the position. And to change the position, what I have to do is I have to go in here, right? And in here, as I said, that you have to use anchor underscore X. You can say, let's say, left, and anchor underscore Y, and here let's say top. So that means on the top left corner I want to place my layout, right? So this is how I'm doing it. Now save it and run it again. Can you see on the top left corner you have this widget placed over here, right? So this is how you can place the widgets, and you can align your widgets onto the layout, and that layout is anchor layout. So this is how you can do the anchor layout of it, right? And now I think you have got the proper understanding of how to use anchor layout and how to place the different widgets on that, right? So this is how you can do it. Similarly, in the next videos I'm going to show you like how to use the other widgets and other layouts and to place multiple widgets on that, right? So stay tuned to my channel, and for that, if you have liked this video, then do click on the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do click on the subscribe button, and also do press the bell icon if you don't want to miss any updates from our channel. So till then, bye bye and happy learning.